안녕하세요. 서울대학교 보라매병원 이호입니다.
Greetings, I'm Dr. Iho of Seoul University Porame Medical Center. Today I'm going to introduce a OneGuide kit. The actual order of using OneGuide kit during surgery is quite simple. First, you adapt the template in the oral cavity, and in a defined way, you do drilling and place the implant. This is all. The biggest benefit of guided surgery is that the surgical process is simple. Yes, there are things that we need to prepare ahead of surgery. You need to do simulation and such, but chair-side surgery itself is very simple. Basically, OneGuide kit is for flapless surgery. Tissue punch is used by about 800 RPM to remove the soft tissue. And then you follow the defined drilling process. What you need to pay attention to during drilling is that there's guide hole in the guide template. In the guide drill, there's guide barrel. Following the guide hole, you can drill as planned ahead. With well-adapted guide, we can overcome the limitations of freehand surgery that concerns slight movements that we cannot control. Guide hole and guide barrel sizes cannot be the same. There's about 0.1 millimeter of difference. This is not a big difference, so fairly precisely as planned ahead, we can place the implant. I've talked about guide hole in guide template. There are two different types of hole size. 5.1 and 5.8. Diameter 5.1 guide hole is for implant diameters 3.5, 4.0, and 4.5. And as for guide hole diameter 5.8, it is for placing diameter 5.0 implant. If you take a look at the OneGuide kit, on the left side there's drills for 5.1 guide hole, and on the right there's drills for 5.8 guide hole. Let's take a closer look. There's shank and stopper. There's guide barrel here. There's taper and flute. The length of guide barrel is 8 millimeter, and from guide barrel to flute, the length is 10.5 millimeters, which is equivalent to the height of guide template. Below, there's an area where there's cutting edge and there's Y dimension. Let's take a closer look at OneGuide kit. As mentioned, on the left there's drills for normal bone, and on the right there's drills for wide hole. There are different compositions for different diameters, and the length vary from 6 to 13. It is very similar to 1 to 2 taper kit. In addition, there's initial drill and cortical drill for hard bone. If we are to place a diameter 5.0 implant, the drilling sequence is as shown. Regardless of bone quality, initial drill and F3.5 drill is used. The diameter is 5.0, so the hole is going to be wide hole. In the case of soft bone, F4.5 is going to be final drill, and for normal bone, it's going to be F5.0 drill. For hard bone, F5.0 drill is going to be used, followed by F5.0 cortical drill as final drill. This is very similar to 1 to 2 taper drill kit. These are tools for implant placement. This is no-mount driver. There's a little bit of difference between the no-mount driver and the drills that were mentioned before because the guide barrel diameter is slightly smaller. Guide drill was 0.1 millimeter smaller than the template hole. No-mount driver is 0.2 millimeters smaller. The reason why it was designed in this way was to prevent jamming after implant placement. No-mount driver can get jammed between implant and the template guide hole, making it difficult to remove. To prevent this kind of situation, a little gap has been made, but this is not a major difference and will not affect overall accuracy. No-mount driver is used just like when doing freehand surgery. Implant is placed about 80%, and as for the rest 20%, implant driver and hand wrench is used. In determining placement depths, the top area of the driver should come to the top of the template. There's a separate line here. This line is for short implant. Thread does not exist in the entire length. As for the short implant in the top part, there's no thread. You need to place the implant up to here and not here. When using no-mount driver, you should place the implant following the line that is below instead of the one at the top. Earlier, I've talked about how implant is placed 80% with no-mount driver and implant driver is used for rest of 20%. In simulation stage, if you have prepared provisional abutment or crown, you need to match the hex in order to make it fit properly. In the case of implant driver, there are 6 grooves, and there are such grooves in the template as well. You need to match the groove in order to fit the temporary in an accurate way. In OneGuide KIT, there are special drills: flattening drill, path drill, and anchor. Flattening drill flattens the bone. For instance, let me give you an example. In an inclined ridge, when placing an implant, when you use initial drill as shown in the inclined surface, because of the flute getting in the way, the drill cannot go in sufficiently. In this case, flattening drill can be used to flatten the area. Then there will be no interference with the initial drill. After that, without interference to the desired depths, initial drill can be used. Flattening drill can be used for this purpose. Path drill can be used in this case. In the case of upper anterior immediate implant placement case, there is inclination in the extraction socket. If you use a tapered initial drill, unlike the originally planned implant placement pathway, because there's inclination, taper drill may slip and path may be altered. The guide can rotate, creating a gap. In this circumstance, drilling can be done in an unwanted direction. If we use path drill first, then we'd be able to drill in the right direction. This is a parallel drill, and you can use it to guide initial drill and other OneGuide drills in the right direction. Next is anchor. Anchor is used to compensate for reduced stability of a template. This can be used for fully edentulous cases or free-end cases. There are 3 precautions that you need to bear in mind when using OneGuide KIT. First is adaptation. We need to make sure that OneGuide has been adapted fully to the teeth before proceeding with surgery. If there is gap, then there can be error. It needs to be fully adapted before surgery can be proceeded. We do not turn on the drill before putting it in. Before stepping on the pedal, we need to make sure that there's double contact. It should be in contact with the guide template and the bone below. We need to make sure that there's double contact and then proceed with stepping on the pedal to use the drill. By doing this, we can do drilling in an accurate position in a stable manner. One of the downsides of guided surgery is that the guide is on top of the bone, so irrigation may not be done sufficiently. At times, cooling is not done properly. When you do drilling, if you do it at once, then irrigation may not be done properly, leading to bone heating. When doing drilling, you need to do pumping action. More so than when using 1-2 taper kit, you need to do pumping action in order to allow for sufficient irrigation in the area of interest. This is a patient case, a 63-year-old female patient. The patient had hypertension and hyperlipidemia. As you can see, the patient was fully edentulous in the upper. And in number 28, there is impacted tooth. The plan was to place implants and remove the impacted tooth. OneGuide KIT was planned, so before surgery, simulation was done. The upper was fully edentulous, so anchor positions were designed as well. Especially in number 16, 26, 17, and 27, there were lack of alveolar bone height, so sinus crystal approach using CAS KIT was also planned. As shown, implants were planned in number 4, 6, and 7. The reason why we skipped implants in the anterior area is because it has been quite a while since extraction has been done, so there was no anterior lip support. After thorough consultation with the patient, we decided to place implants in the posterior area and decided to use IARPD. A class 4 type of RPD was planned to restore lip support. Implant placement plan was to place 10mm implants in number 14 and 24, and on both sides in number 6 and 7, 5 by 10mm implants were planned. In number 6 on both sides, because there was lack of alveolar bone, sinus crystal approach using CAS technique was planned. This is surgical clip. Because there was lack of keratinized tissue, open flap surgery instead of flapless surgery was performed. Template was positioned. For retention and stability of template, 2 anchors were fixated. The following the use of flattening drill, subsequent drilling was done. OneGuide drills were used sequentially. As shown, there's no hesitation as to where implants need to be placed or how the path should be determined. Because simulation has been done ahead, there's no considerations to be made during surgery. Implants were placed after drilling.
24번도 마찬가지로
This is the same for number 24.
17번.
Implants were also placed in the same way for number 17 and 27. As for number 16 and 26, cast technique was required when I was taking this video. OneGuide KIT was yet to be introduced. So I just did drilling. Drilling was done to a certain point, and before placing the implant itself, guide was removed, and in the whole area, cast kit was used and sinus elevation was done for implant placement. Before that, surrounding implants were placed to the desired depths. Cast kit was used for cast technique. Sinus crystal approach was done on both sides in number 6. For implant placement. If OneGuide KIT had been available at the time, it would have been more useful after implants were placed. Impacted tooth number 28 was removed and surgery was completed. Healing abutments were connected. Number 6 and 7's primary stability was not good, so they were submerged. This is panoramic image right after surgery. This is a pre-op and post-op and after prosthesis delivery. Now I'm going to summarize. There are a couple of considerations to make when using OneGuide KIT. There are two types of hole sizes. There's normal hole and wide hole. In order to perform surgery in a more accurate way, there are 3 different types of tools: flattening drill, path drill, and anchor. The precautions that we need to bear in mind when using OneGuide KIT is that we need to check whether the template has been adapted properly, and we need to start drilling after double contact has been confirmed. You need to do pumping action for sufficient irrigation. This is what I've prepared thus far. If you're interested in more in-depth knowledge and meaningful hands-on practice, please refer to an offline master course. I look forward to your interest. Thank you for watching.